My name is Mitch. I'm with WFG. I am also part of Nexination. I've known Mike Cordes for over 17 years, and one of the reasons I'm entitled is I consider myself almost an expert in online lead generation, nurturing, and conversion. My number one priority here at WFG is to help Nexination. I want to be your main source for title. We have a breakout room with secured mortgage processing. We're going to be bringing you new curriculums every week, Wednesday at noon. Erin's going to be creating, we're all set for August. I'll let Erin tell you about that in a little later. We're also developing portals for all the mortgage loan officers, where you'll be able to get fees instantly nationwide. You'll also be able to pull a property profile for free, get free AVMs, and if for any reason you need one, you can get a 4506T too. So later on this week or today, I'm going to follow up with you, also let you know what we're doing with Lender Price and the digital lending platform. And if there's anything I can do to help you build your business, just give me a call. That's my number one priority, help you guys grow.
Beautiful. Without further ado, why don't I jump right in and get started? And welcome everybody to today's kickoff. This is the Nexination Tech Training Kickoff, session number 1. And we're going to cover your online presence, really crafting and building a powerful online presence for yourself, which can help you generate more repeat, more referral business, enhance your relationships with realtors. There's just a host of benefits to really designing and developing a strong online presence. And so again, that's session number 1. That's what we're going to cover today over the next 45 or so minutes. And then we are going to move from there, and we're going to dive into our remaining 4 sessions. Let me actually just share my screen. Let me share with you what these sessions are going to look like. And because there's actually a different registration link to get access to these sessions. And so it's going to be different than the one that you went to for this session. So here is session 2 through 5. So our next session, next Wednesday, generate Facebook and Instagram ads for buyer leads for realtors and yourself. And Brad, I've got some great updated information for you on this. I know you've had an interest in this for a little while. Session 3, the following week, we're going to dive into how to 4 times your follow-up and conversion by really tapping into some incredible strategies that involved scripting, involved lead follow-up, involved just following up with agents, and what that looks like to kind of convert those people. The following week, session 4, we're going to dive into creating powerful branding and marketing that you can actually create on your own. I know you have access to marketing resources through Nexa, through WFG National Title, but if you feel like you've got a creative itch, or you want to dive in and create some brand marketing for yourself, a cover photo, a background photo for Facebook, LinkedIn, some social media posts, some social media advertising posts, a flyer, a logo, I'm going to show you how to do that on August 19th. And then we're going to conclude on August 26th with developing your video strategy and really establishing a strong YouTube channel and what that looks like. So I'm going to cover what type of information and content should you be creating to establish yourself as an authority online. And because video is the most powerful medium that you could be creating and sharing. And it's going to, the folks that are consistently putting out video content are seen as the authority, as the go-to, as the ones that are creating success and getting the job done. That could be you, and it should be you. And so again, those are the strategies, those are the sessions we're going to cover over the next 4 weeks. Okay. So you guys, again, congratulations, kudos for being on this session today. Robert, yes, this is being recorded. I'll make these replays available to you. So you'll have access to these. I'm going to mute everybody for the time being. Feel free to unmute yourself at any time with a comment, a question of any sort. Okay. And And then also feel free, if you'd rather, just type that question into chat, and I'll be monitoring chat. I'm happy to answer your question at any time. So let me get to the start of this presentation, and let's get rocking and rolling here. Okay, so this is all about crafting a powerful online presence, and this is something that we're going to, and typically I've taught this to probably 2,000 or 3,000 agents, and have done so to quite a few banks, large commercial real estate brokerages, and then most recently mortgage companies. So this is going to be kind of a hybrid. You're going to see some real estate related references in this, but overall this is going to be pretty tailored to you. I'm going to tailor everything I talk about really to you and your scenario. For those that aren't familiar with who I am a psychology-driven digital marketer. I'm a trainer, coach, speaker. I've been in the real estate space for almost 20 years. I actually have my broker's license in Arizona. I work in other markets around the country. And I write for Inman, and I'm also an NAR certified technology instructor. So I do some fun stuff in this space. I spend a lot of time in this world, you guys. And so if you have any questions on anything, reach out to me. I'm a resource for you through Mitch. So I work for a company called West, and West stands for Williston Enterprise Solutions and Technology. So it's a marketing technology consulting company. It's owned by Williston Financial Group, which owns WFG National Title. So that's why, I'm here with Mitch today. Mitch is your strategic partner with WFG, and Mitch is my client. So I have to do what he says. I have to be where he says I need to be. He has access to my calendar. So if you guys want to connect with me, connect with Mitch, and he'll get us scheduled. So again, these are some of the areas that I really specialize in helping loan officers, real estate agents in, and you can leverage me with some of your existing clients, right? I could be an additional value add with real estate agents you're already working with, or prospects that you want to start working with. Again, just consider me an extension of your team, just like Mitch is as well. Okay. If you want to ever get in touch with me directly, the best way is to go through Mitch. But for whatever reason, if you want to reach out to me, you can always just go to getwithaaron.com, and that'll get you scheduled for a 15, 20-minute chat. Okay. So let's dive right into our session today. Again, this is setting the foundation for what we're going to do moving forward. And we want to set the stage for really crafting that powerful online presence. So again, any questions, feel free to reach out, or unmute yourself, or just type in chat. So here's where we're at. Visibility now trumps ability. And the loan officers, the lenders, the folks in the mortgage world that have more visibility online are generating more business. Even if they're not as skilled, even if they're not as experienced, even if they don't have the full suite of loan products like everybody else, even if they're not as competitive with their rates, they're generating more business simply because of the fact that they have more visibility. And so this is what we want to do. We want to create more visibility for you online, but we want to do it in a very strategic way that's going to make a difference for you. So you'll notice that I love stats, right? I love to back everything that I instruct on with some actual credible evidence. And so 91%, we found that 91% of online adults use search engines to find information on the web. So 9 out of 10 people are going to Google to do a search, right? And oftentimes they're searching for you. My mother-in-law is a loan officer in the high desert in California, and she's got her own branch. She's one of the top producing loan officers for, she has been for 30 plus years. She goes on all the cruises and all that kind of stuff. And so I work with her quite a bit. She's oftentimes my guinea pig in California. And what I found was when we went through this process with her and we improved her online presence, she saw within 6 months, she saw 30% more opportunities that came across her desk. So she was asked to do 30% more pre-quals by her agent clients. She had other agents reaching out to her. And it's amazing. And she was actually, so we can really attribute this to the fact that she may have been getting, her agent partners may have been referring, borrowers to her, But the borrowers would go online first. We were finding they would search for her and they weren't impressed with the results, and therefore they would never reach out to her. And they would let her agent partners know, doesn't seem like she's going to be a good fit. Do you have anyone else you'd recommend? Oftentimes they wouldn't even tell the agent that. They would just go with another lender and say, they would just tell their agent, hey, we actually found somebody else, right? And so what we found was we increased and improved her online presence. It changed her business. So online reputation, what is that? It's basically our ability to shape public perception of who we are, of how we operate. Okay. So it really, though, should speak to our ability to effectively guide someone through a transaction, to come through and close that deal for them. And really do so in a fast, in a convenient, in a simple way, right? So speed, simplicity, and certainty are really what we're finding borrowers are looking for. They want something to go very quickly. They want certainty that it's going to actually go through and close, right? That it's going to work out. And then they want simplicity. They want a simple process. Okay. And so, I'm sure we'll, as the weeks go by, months go by with this relationship we've got between WFG and Nexa, we're going to also dive into our My Home dashboard, which is a really powerful dashboard, that mobile optimized dashboard that your clients, you'll have access to really see where you're at in all of your transactions with WFG, whether it's a refi or whatever that looks like, at all times. Okay, so really pretty neat. Again, that's kind of it's the Domino's pizza tracker of the real estate transaction, I like to say. But let's just take a look at this perception pyramid here for a second. And I want to hammer home the fact that in order to create more influence, in order to ensure that we're not missing out on our opportunities, we have to create a perception of trust. And in order to do that, we have to show up. The CEO of Better Homes and Gardens said, the more that people know you, perceived or actual, the more they'll trust you. The more they trust you, the greater likelihood that they'll work with you. And again, this perception pyramid at the very bottom with the least amount of influence is what we think, right? Above that, with a little more influence, is what we say. Above that is what we do. And at the very top of that perception pyramid, with the most amount of influence, right? So when I think of influence, and I obsess about the concept of influence. I'm actually starting a podcast in about 3 weeks called The Influence Project, because influence is everything in our business. And with the most amount of influence is how we are perceived. Okay, and the beauty of what we can do online is we can shape the perception of who we are by sharing transparency into our business, transparency into our process, into who has worked with us that we've created success for, right? Into who we are as people. And one great way to do that is through social media, right? And again, we had a little conversation earlier about social media. It's very distracting. It can be very upsetting for a lot of people. Overall, I'll tell you this. I know a lot about social media. I know enough to know that it affects our moods. It can make people unhappy. It can make us depressed. It can do these. What I want to do, though, is I want you to think about social media from the standpoint of how can you influence people in a positive way, right? How can you leave them feeling like they just experienced something that enhances their day after seeing it, whether it's something that made them laugh, something that, or something that made them think, or something that educated them, something that made them go, wow, I didn't know that. I'm walking away from Brad's social media right now going, man, I'm more well-informed on what's going on in the market through this pandemic, or what's happening with interest rates and how these Fed control rates actually affect interest rates, if they do at all, and what all this stuff means, and how long these interest rates are going to be where they're at. And, some really important topics and questions that people have that I'm not seeing a lot of people answer them in just a straightforward, simple way. So again, that's you being transparent into what you do and how you do it. But the first thing we need to do to really figure out and craft a powerful online presence is do a search for ourselves on Google. And if you haven't done one in a while, I'd highly recommend doing it. Couple little tips for you is, number one, if you're going to search for yourself on your computer, on your phone, and you're logged into Google and you're going to use your Google Chrome browser, well, of course, Google is going to show you exactly what you're looking for, right? It's going to show you because it knows that you are searching for yourself. What you want to do is either log out, or you can go up to the settings option here and hide private results. Or what I'd even recommend outside of that is use a different browser. Go to, like, let's say you use Chrome, go to Internet Explorer, use Safari, use Firefox, where, a browser you'd never use, and search for yourself, first name, last name, and tell me what comes up. We need to figure out what comes up. And again, this is us mimicking a potential borrower searching for us after they were referred to us by maybe one of our agent partners. Okay. So we want to know exactly what they're going to see, because what we do know is that they're looking for reasons not to reach out to us. So they were referred to us from one of our agent partners. They're going to use us, right? Because there's that transfer of trust. They just are looking for red flags. They're looking for reasons not to do business with us. If they don't find any red flags, guess what's going to happen? Our phone's going to ring. Okay. Or maybe we just had a good conversation with them, and we got their number from an agent partner of ours. We reached out to them, talked to them, conversation went well, and all of a sudden maybe we start getting ghosted by them, right? And we don't know why. I don't know if any of you have ever experienced that, but if you have, it could be due to your online presence. So once you search for your name, do first name, last name. If you have a very common first name, last name, you may add the word lender, mortgage, or loans after your name. Okay. So Lonnie Peck, lender, Lonnie Peck, mortgage, Lonnie Peck, loans, or try the location. What you want to do is you actually want to also add the location. So Lonnie Peck, Phoenix or Scottsdale, Mesa, Gilbert, right? Whatever that is. And look at all those different scenarios. Now, the most popular way for someone to search for you is just first name, last name, but they're going to add additional words afterwards. You want to know what shows up when someone does those searches as well. So what shows up when they do this? What do they think if nothing shows up? Okay, and I'm going to show you a couple examples of this. Now, it's going to be real estate related, but again, this crosses over into what you're doing as well. So here's what we do know. We know that 45% of people surveyed, right, potential borrowers, said they found something in an online search that made them not to do business with that lender. Almost 50%. Again, they're looking for red flags. If they don't find a red flag, they're going to move forward with you. Over 50% said they found something in the search results that solidified their decision to do business with the person, right? So again, it's a double-edged sword. If there's nothing there, or if it's not set up correctly, we're going to miss out on an opportunity. If we're there in the right places with all the right information, we're going to get the business. Okay. So here, let me just summarize what we've covered so far. So far, we've covered that we know people are going to search for us on Google. 90+% will. We know that they decide to move forward with us or not based on sometimes just what they see in the search results. Oftentimes, they won't even click on the results themselves. They'll just look at the actual pages that come up. And they either decide whether they like us or not. And the reason why they're making these big judgments based on small amounts of information, the reason why they're disqualifying us so quickly is because there's a lot of us out there. I mean, there's a lot of other people in this market that do something similar to what you do. Now, they don't do it exactly like you, but they do it probably close enough to where the general public sees that we do basically the exact same thing. Okay. And so therefore, when you're seen as a commodity, we start to lose a little bit of value. And what I want to show you today is I don't want you to be seen as a commodity. I want you to create differentiation for yourself. The only way to create differentiation for yourself is to share things that others are not sharing, do things that others aren't doing. And typically that is just you in alignment with who you are. And again, there's a lot of benefit to social media and creating differentiation, but it's not the only thing. It's not the only way either. But again, just to go back to the world of commoditization and seen as a commodity. When we're seen as a commodity, what becomes the only negotiating point? Price. Price becomes the issue, right? If you're seen as someone that provides a high level of value that is doing things that others aren't, guess what? People care less about price. They care less about rate. Okay? They want to do business with someone they know is doing things different, is someone they like, is someone that is going to get the job done, someone that's going to make the process easy. People will pay a premium for simplicity. Okay. So again, are we losing opportunities? How will we know that? Okay. So I'm going to spotlight 3 people. Okay. And I want to show you their search results. And so this is the first person. You're just going to see their name in the search box, and underneath you're going to see their results. Here's 4 results for them. Okay. I'm going to go to the next person. Here's their name. Here's the results. You're going to notice on the right-hand side, there's a profile. Okay. That's a Google business profile. That's something that we all should have. And let me show you the third person. Again, name in the search box. I'm going to show you the top 4 search results. And on the right-hand side, Google business profile. But one thing you're going to notice is every result is consistent. There's ratings and reviews on all of these profiles. The Google business profile doesn't just have her name and some stock photos. It's got her headshot. It's pulling in reviews from around the web, from Yelp, Facebook, Zillow, right? All these other locations. Powerful, powerful online presence. Imagine if there were 3 options for a borrower. They went online, searched for each 3. The first one was this person, second this one, third this one. They don't need to go any further. They're going to pick the one that has what's called the most social proof, the most powerful online presence. Okay, and that would be this one. By the way, to create that Google business profile, which is what you're looking at on the right-hand side of the screen, you'll simply go to business.google.com. Business.google.com. And what you want to do is type in for your business name, it's going to be your first and last name, comma, your title, mortgage broker, loan officer, mortgage lender, whatever your title is. And then I would do at Nexa, right? I would do at Nexa Mortgage. Okay. So mine would be Aaron Lacey, comma, mortgage lender. And I do the @ sign. And then I would do Nexa Mortgage. Okay. And then if you want to dive into your Google business profile a little deeper, happy to connect with you one-on-one and make that happen. And I'm also happy to do a little one-off training on just Google business profiles. I mean, in my opinion, this profile here on the right-hand side, it is your most important online profile. What we're finding too is most people that are searching on Google, they're doing so from their phones. And when you search for someone on your phone, whether it's yourself or anybody else, and they have a Google business profile, that actually shows up above the search results. So it's the first thing that they see. And what Google's doing is they're going all in on these profiles. They just recently released a new feature where they're allowing users to message you right from the profile, send you a text message from the profile, call you, visit your email, email you, visit your website, ask you questions right from the profile. Right, so they're trying to be the all-encompassing one-stop shop for people looking for a business person. Right, that's a really, really powerful area. It's a powerful industry to get involved in. And what Google's trying to do is push out Facebook business pages. They're trying to push out Yelp business profiles. They want to capture that business. They want to be the source for anybody that's looking to connect with a business person or a business. Okay. Okay. So what I also want to show you is you'll notice on the profile itself for Tammy, she has this section called reviews from the web. And what these are, they're called citations. Basically, it's another website that Tammy has a profile on that also solicits ratings and reviews. And Google has gone out and crawled the internet, trying to find other profiles that Tammy has. And it found a list, and it found a few where Tammy has actually generated some reviews on. That would be Zillow and Facebook. Now, these are other review sites or citation sites, if you're familiar with that SEO term, that Google looks at to make that connection. It's not asking you, hey, where else are you online? It's going and doing this automatically. Now, here's what I would say. You don't need to be in all these places, right? The last thing I want you to do is create a profile on all these sites, especially a profile that is not getting updated, doesn't have ratings and reviews on it, because what we don't want to happen is for a potential borrower to search for you online and pull up one of these websites and see no ratings and no reviews. They're going to think you're part-time, you're brand new, or whatever, right? That's going to be the perception. So, but just a heads up, if you want to pick a couple of these, I'll tell you though, by the end of today's session, I'll tell you which profiles are going to be the most important for you to be on moving forward. So let me just spotlight. This is, anyone know John Gluck? So John Gluck he's an agent here in the Valley, actually. And so I was going to switch all this stuff out and put loan officers and lenders in here, but I figured I want you to just kind of see the importance of this from just a real estate standpoint. And also, maybe you might advise some of your agent clients on how to do some of this stuff. So John, John lives in like Newport on a sailboat. He's built a big team that works in Scottsdale. And what he's done really, really well is he's built a very strong online presence. I mean, if you search for him, you're going to see what shows up. But on the left-hand side is a screenshot of his search results on Google. So you'll see the results on the left-hand side. The first result is his website. Second result, team page on his website. Third result, Zillow. Fourth result, Realtor.com. Fifth result, Yelp. You'll see for the bottom three, Zillow, Realtor.com, and Yelp, he's got ratings and reviews, right? A lot. Zillow, 156 reviews. Realtor.com, 67. Yelp, 133. But what grabs your eye right away? On the right-hand side, you're seeing his profile. He's got his team shot there. And by the way, if you have a team or you don't, it doesn't matter. I want your profile photo up here, or get together some assistants, some processors, some, your team, your branch manager, get everybody together, you guys, and get a photo taken. Get a photographer out there, get someone, schedule this photo that you take that shows you in the middle surrounded by your support system, shows the stability and the success of you as an operator. And you all have a team, right? You all have a team that really supports your business. Get a photo with that team. Now, you don't all have to be dressed up in suits, but you could just be wearing casual clothes. I know that's a little difficult now during the current time, but again, food for thought. What John's done though is he's created this Google business profile. He's got 34 reviews there. He's really filled this out in its entirety. And again, if you search for John on your own, you'll see what he's done. But what I wanted to show you here, again, just to really reaffirm the value of this profile, especially because over 50% of people that are searching for you are doing it from their phones. See this the screenshot on the right-hand side is a screenshot from my phone doing a search for John. Do you see any of the actual search results showing up there? This is the very first thing you see is you see this Google business profile. Now, if you look at the very bottom of that screenshot, it says top results, Gluck Group, home. That is the start of the actual search results. So again, people aren't even getting the search results. They're looking at this profile. They're making a decision on whether they want to move forward with John based on what they're seeing right here, because this profile really encompasses almost everything that they need to make an educated decision. One thing I've done too, if you search for top loan officers in Phoenix, top mortgage lenders in Phoenix, right, you'll see that there aren't a lot of results, right? So if I was familiar with SEO at all or had a knacking to create some additional pages on my website, I would create a page that had a headline of top loan officers in Phoenix, in Scottsdale, in Mesa, in Chandler, in Glendale, because there aren't a lot of results, aren't a lot of information or resources around those. And I would talk about who that top person is, which it would be me, right? And I would say why. Like, here's the reason why. But if you do a search asking for the nearest loan officer to me, or who's the best loan officer in the Phoenix area, you're actually going to see that the first 2 or 3 results are actually going to be ads. And then underneath that, you're going to see a Google map, and it's going to tap into that Google business profile. And it's only going to show results though of profiles that have at least a rating of 4 or higher. So again, just a heads up, that's why we want that created. Okay. And that's why we want to generate ratings and reviews to that profile. It's going to be the number 1 place you want to ask for reviews and ratings too. So I use the word realtor here, but this is actually lender loan officers, guys. Risk losing almost a quarter of your business based on potential borrowers who find 1 negative article on the first page of the search results. This doubles for 2 negative results, triples for 3, and so on. And here's the thing. You may be asking, well, what is a negative result, right? What's a negative result? Well, the way I look at results is that they're either positive, negative, or neutral. And what we want to do with a positive result, and that would be like your website, your profile on the Nexa mortgage website. That would be a Facebook business page that is being updated consistently, has a really nice cover photo. That would be your LinkedIn profile that has a nice background photo on it. It has an up-to-date profile photo. It's got a nice, really nice and well thought out bio on it. You know what I mean? It's up to date. It's totally filled out. Those are positive results, right? A neutral result would be any of those types of results where you haven't really filled out the profile in its entirety, or you haven't posted recently. You're not posting consistently. A negative result is where maybe you have one of those profiles and there's nothing there. There's no headshot. There's no bio. You haven't posted to your Facebook or Twitter, maybe if you have a Twitter and just forgot, or even LinkedIn in years, right? That's a negative result. It shows inconsistency in your ability to just simply perform, right? And that's scary for a potential borrower. And then there's other negative results. I'm going to show you an example of a really negative result here in a second. So we did a search, and this was an agent, but named Sam Vacanti. I don't know if anyone knows Sam. He's in the Southeast Valley. So I sat down with him, and I do these 20-minute digital audits, and I'm happy to do these with you individually, happy to do these with any of your clients or prospects, again, as a value add for you. And so we did this with Sam and just simply did a search for him on Google. Well, we noticed that he didn't have a very powerful online presence. And here's the thing, I talk about positive, negative, and neutral results, but overall, either your online presence is there or it's not. And if it's there and there's a lot of negative results, that's a bad thing. That's like having bad credit, right? That's like having, some bankruptcies and some other bad things, right? For now, the alternative is you do a search and there's nothing really that shows up. That's like having no credit. Okay. We can build that, right? That's actually a lot better than having bad credit. And so here's with Sam though, he has little to no credit, and what he does have is bad. So he's really against the 8 ball. So check this out, this result here, and one of you may have this same result. This is, if you'll notice, it's mylife.com. So mylife.com. So it has his name, has his age, where he's at, his birthday, and it says 2-star rating 2, 1 review. So when you actually click on that result, here's the page you see. My Life, right? And the first thing you see is this little red alert. And it says lawsuits, liens, or bankruptcy records found, Sam's background report, view details. Of course, this is just a website that's meant to squeeze money out of people, right? I think it's a totally unethical website. But the fact is, there are dozens of these type of online directories that exist, and they exist for you. And some of them are providing scores and ratings and rankings without you even realizing it. What they're doing is they're basically scrubbing all of your online profiles, including all your social media profiles, and they're taking all that data and they're putting together a profile for you based on that information. That's what they did with Sam. Check this out on the left-hand side though. Imagine if you were just referred, let's say you're a potential, buyer, and you were referred to Sam, and you go online, and this is one of the top results that shows up. And look, there's a picture, a black and white picture of Sam. He's got a little meter coming out of his head, like a horn out of his head, right over the word poor. Underneath his picture, it says approximate reputation score 2 out of 5. I'd go, I don't need to even look further. Sam's not the right choice for me. What do we actually know about Sam at this point? We really don't know much, other than the fact that there's a website that's saying that Sam is poor. How much business do you think Sam missed out on before we found this website and remedied it for him? Okay. I mean, again, that's why it's so important for us to know exactly what shows up for us when we do a search for ourselves online. Now, if you do a search for Sam, you're going to see a strong online presence, a Google business profile, some other great things. So what makes up our online presence? Okay, you're welcome to screenshot this, take a picture of this with your phone, whatever that looks like, you guys. Facebook, posts, comments, and your photos. And you guys, I would also argue to say your online presence is also your brand. Okay, it's also your reputation. Okay, it says everything about you, whether that's positive or negative or neutral. Okay, and so when people look to dive in and figure out who they are, who they're about to do business with, they want to know what they're getting into. They're going to dive into your social media. They're going to dive into these online results. They want to look and read your bio. They want to see if you've created a bio video for yourself and talked about and kind of told your story over video just to see how you talk, what your mannerisms are, right? We're pretty smart at getting a good feel for whether someone's pretty sharp, whether what their demeanor is, what their vibe is, right? How the way they operate, if they'd be fun to work with, if they would be kind of not so fun to work with. And so all these things make up your online presence: Facebook, LinkedIn, your profile, but also your recommendations you have. Do you have a strong background photo that tells a story of what it might be like to work with you? A Twitter, all your posts and your interactions, right? YouTube. And not just whether you have a YouTube channel or not, but what kind of videos are you putting out there? How frequently are you doing it? What's the quality of them? Right? They're everywhere. You're under a microscope, you guys. And so again, if we're going to be in these places, we need to do it in an effective and powerful way. Instagram. Are you using Instagram? If so, what are you posting? Here's the thing. If you have an Instagram profile and you're really not posting anything, you may turn off some of the younger folks. They may go, well, is this person relevant? Are they connected? Do they know what they're doing? Again, people read into things a lot more than they should. Okay. And the reason is that's just how humans work, right? That's how we operate. And so when someone doesn't know you, they're going to read into everything to figure out if you're the right fit for them. Google My Business, your website. If anybody has a website or even the profile on the Nexa Mortgage website, what is there, right? Updated headshot, bio, are we showing signs of success? Okay. What are your top 3 websites? It's going to be Google Business, Yelp, and I would say for you, Facebook. Google Business, Yelp, and your Facebook business page. Those are going to be your top 3 locations. Okay. So Google Business, Yelp, and Facebook are going to be top locations to A, create really strong profiles on, and B, to solicit reviews on. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to kind of move through the rest of this. And again, if anyone has a question, feel free to unmute yourself, ask in chat, comment, whatever that might look like. I'm happy to answer that. You guys, so one other thing I want to just touch on is brand and consistency. And this is a huge issue online. And it has to do specifically with your name, address, and phone number. Excuse me, just forward through there. So name, address, and phone number. Those are the 3 most important things that all these websites look at, all these search engines look at to figure out if they're going to return a result for you or not. They want to see that there's a name, address, and phone number that's the same. Okay. Also, your customers, they want to see your potential borrowers. They want to see They want to see consistency across your profiles. They want to see that you're using similar headshots, also similar title. Are you a loan officer, mortgage broker, mortgage lender? Whatever that looks like, right? Mortgage advisor, mortgage professional. Stay consistent with your title. Here's the thing too. When I was kind of just really thinking about this and putting this together, I was thinking, I don't necessarily know. I think I know the difference between a broker and a lender. And I do. I actually, now that I think about it, I do. Right. But you know what? The general public doesn't know. They don't know the difference between a broker and a lender. What are the benefits between using a brokerage or using a lender, right? And so what about a loan officer? What is a loan officer? Is a loan officer a broker or a lender? You guys, it's confusing, right? I mean, you're very clear with what these are, but again, the general public has no idea. And so that might even be a good piece of content to create, a good post to make on social media, or a good video to create. Go, hey, this is Aaron here with Nexa. And hey, I want to just share with you, like, you probably see, a lot of people in the mortgage world, they have the title loan officer, mortgage broker, mortgage lender, whatever, right? What's the difference? Well, let me just create some clarity for you on what the difference is, and really what the benefit is to working with one over another. I don't know. Maybe there are some videos like that out there. There probably are, but I'll tell you, that would be very beneficial and worthwhile to do. Profile photo, you guys, background cover photos, your bio. I've got a really, really powerful 7-step bio builder I'm happy to share with you. And that'll really just kind of walk you through creating a powerful bio for yourself. In fact, since you guys are on the call today, I'm going to go ahead and just pop that right into chat. So I'm going to pop that right into chat. And you guys click that link when you get a chance before the end of the session, so that you have that page open in your browser. Okay. And again, you just answer the 7 questions. That'll create a powerful bio for you. That is a little geared toward a real estate agent, but here's the thing. All the questions are very applicable to you and exactly what you're doing. So, okay, so let's move through. Online proof, social proof. What is this? Why is it powerful? Well, the reason it's powerful is because a recent study was just done that said that almost 90%, 9 out of 10 people, right, borrowers, trust online reviews as much as personal recommendations. I mean, that is what is this current time that we live in? It's absolutely crazy. The fact that 9 out of 10 people, 9 out of 10 potential borrowers, neighbors, friends, they trust what they read online as much as personal recommendations. Like, crazy, right? But when was the last time you went to Amazon and purchased something without looking at those online reviews, right? We do every single time. We look at the most recent ones. We look at the 5 stars. We look at the 1 stars. I'll tell you this, though. You can usually get the most accurate information by looking at the 2, 3, and 4 stars. Which leads me to one of my next points. We know that 90% of consumers read online reviews before visiting or even reaching out to a business. But the fact is, people want to see that you're not perfect. Okay, because when if you think about a transaction you've had where it hasn't gone super smooth, oftentimes that's your chance to throw title under the bus. I'm kidding. That's your opportunity to basically step up and say, I made a mistake, or yeah, you know what, this happened. Let's get through this together. I'm not going to leave your side. Like, I'm going to make myself available for you as your partner, your advisor. We're going to work through this together, and we're going to come out on the other side with a successful result. That's when you can forge the most powerful, the most long-lasting relationships, is when things don't go right. Think about it. When things go super smooth and it was just smooth all the way through, honestly, you guys, from a psychological standpoint, there's nothing very memorable about that transaction. When things go south and you step up, that's when memories are created. That's when opportunities for you to be referred are created, because now that borrower when their friend or family member or neighbor is looking for a loan and they talk to them about real estate, that person's going to say, you need to reach out to Brad. He will come through for you. He will make it happen regardless of the scenario. That's when, that's the story that they'll oftentimes tell, is how you stepped up through adversity, through a challenge. So the CMO actually of ERA said that they're seeing a 20% increase in lead conversion rates with people that have ratings and reviews. Again, the power of ratings and reviews. Bright Local, which is a massive online survey company that specializes in online presence and reputation, they did a couple studies, and one study found that 7 out of 10 of our borrowers would leave a review if we asked them. And here's the thing, not just borrowers. Anybody that knows you in a professional capacity, in a business capacity, it could be a partner, it could be me, it could be Mitch, it could be your colleagues, it could be your real estate agent partners, right? It could be any of these folks. They're willing to leave a review for you if they were simply asked. The problem is we don't ask them. We ask less than 10% of them. A couple other things I want to just share here. 90% of consumers read less than 10 reviews. Almost 3 out of 4 think that reviews older than 3 months are no longer relevant. And then over 50% say the star rating of a business is most important. And I talk about reviews a lot. The reason I don't talk about what some people often use synonymous with review is testimonial. The reason I don't use testimonial is because a testimonial is different than a review. A review has a lot more credibility. That's going to be on a site like Yelp or Google or Zillow. And it's hard to game those platforms with fake reviews, right? It's going to have a lot more credibility than something like, again, I'm a fan of Reach 150, but Reach 150, for example, those are testimonials. And testimonials are not seen by the public as being very legitimate. So you want those objective, impartial reviews on those review sites. Let me just dive into my last topic on this subject. And again, I'll open it up to questions if anybody has any. By the end of this year, over half of online search will be through voice. Now, it's probably going to leak into next year because this year is crazy, right? Is this year over yet? It's been a great year in a lot of ways, but it's also been just chaotic. 50% of online search will be through voice. What does that mean? That means that people are going to be talking into their phones more to do searches. They're going to be talking to their smart home devices more to search for information, to vet products and people and services out. They're going to be asking their Amazon Echo. They're going to be asking their Google Home, right? Who the nearest lender is, who the best loan officer is in Chandler for those. So they're going to be tapping into these guys, including their phones, right? So whether it's a Google Home or Amazon Echo, last year there were over 100 million households in the United States with one of these smart home devices, right? Just here's the thing though, just sitting listening, right? So creepy. But that's it. We're trading our privacy for convenience, you guys. With that said though, the voice search explosion, right? iPhone, Amazon Echo. If you ask where the nearest lender is, the nearest loan officer, who the best loan officer is in Phoenix, guess where those devices turn to? They turn to Yelp for the results. If you ask Siri right now, you say, hey Siri, who's the top loan officer or the best loan officer near me or in Phoenix? Siri's going to turn to Yelp for those results. On the flip side, if you pull open your Android or you ask your Google Home where the nearest loan officer is or who the best loan officer is in Phoenix, those devices will turn to Google Business for those results. Okay, that's why your Yelp and Google My Business profiles are the most important profiles that you'll have. Okay, what about Facebook? Again, I mentioned this is going to be your third most important profile that you need to have, specifically for those ratings and reviews. So if I was asking someone to rate me or review me, what I would do is I would give them a link to my Google business profile, to my Yelp business page, and to my Facebook business page. Give them 3 links, and I'd say choose one, choose whichever one you want, and simply share a message, share an experience in there where I exceeded your expectation, where I went above and beyond for you. Please, right? If you do, maybe I'll give you a gift card. I'll reward you in some way, shape, or form. Okay. What are the sites, you guys? I do recommend you create an about.me profile. It's free to create. Check that out, you guys. Get that created, about.me. And again, with your reviews, if you don't have a review script, and when I say script, I mean just an email. Would you please help me and review me here? My business depends on it. Send them that email and create that email as like a template so that you resend the same one. And again, it's just going to be super simple to the point. Hey, would you mind taking 30 seconds, click one of the links below and just review me there. Google Business, Yelp, Facebook. You may need to engage in gift card bribery. I'm not sure. Hey guys, if you want to dive into your online presence right now and just and allow a third-party tool to evaluate whether you have a positive, negative, or neutral result and give you some opinions on how to improve it, check out brandyourself.com. Okay, check out brandyourself.com. It'll give you some recommendations on how to improve your results. Nothing like what I'll do for you, but again, it's something you can do pretty quickly. The other thing is, if you're not familiar with Google Alerts, I want you guys to really spend some time on Google Alerts. Set up some alerts. These are saved Google searches, almost like you're saving a search anywhere else, right? And you type in your search, you select the email you want any results to go to, and click Create Alert. You can create as many of these alerts as you want, and as soon as Google finds out anything new about your search query, it will email you those results in a digest type format. You guys, insane. Absolutely insane. I've got like 75 alerts set up for my name, my company, my partner companies, my client names, my clients' companies' names, the markets that I work in, Phoenix Real Estate, Mesa Real Estate, my competitors. I get notified of every single thing all these people, all these things they're doing online as soon as Google finds out about it. Super powerful. If you're not familiar with it, check that out. One other little thing too, if you're curious if your name is being used elsewhere online, check out one of these websites, NameCheck or Noam. It'll actually search for your name in all these different locations just to find out if someone else is using that and what those profiles look like, just so you know. Okay, so pretty cool to kind of do. It's almost like you're a little private investigator and searching for how your name's being used on these websites. Here's what I would say. You guys, I want to extend this out there. Happy to do a 20-minute, 15, 20-minute audit with you. Simply go to getwithaaron.com, get that scheduled. Happy to help you there. Identify areas for improvement with your online presence. And our next session, which really is going to dive pretty deep into some technology, some awesome stuff, is how do we create some awesome buyer leads for ourselves that we can hand off to realtors? How are we going to do that? We're going to cover that next Wednesday in our second session. You guys, any questions? Awesome, you guys. So thank you so much for attending. Really appreciate you guys jumping on. If you would, let some of your colleagues know about the value of the session today. I'd love to see a full room in here so that we can all level up together as part of Next Nation. You guys, thank you so much for your time. Mitch, you want to take it away, sir?
Yes, thanks you guys for attending. Want to let you guys, we're in every state that Nexa is in, and I want you also to reach out to me. I'm going to reach out to you again to introduce myself. I'll pop you an email, but also if you ever want to swap reviews, I've got a little group where we can create our own little support group of giving each other's reviews in a timely manner. And then it's funny how exponential it can grow. I have a small business I own that my son runs called Mr. Bruce Tap House, and we've been very successful on Yelp and on Google My Business, just doing these very simple things. And so please don't hesitate to reach out. I'll make sure you guys get an invitation to the next month's tech training. And I'll put my email address and phone number there at WFG. Plus you can find me in Nexa Mortgage Gmail too. I'm there too. So call me. Love to help you guys build your business. My only job is to help Nexa grow.
We'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much for attending. Have
Thanks,
an
guys.
awesome
We'll
rest
talk
of
to
your
you
week.
soon.
Bye, guys.
Take care.